Hello students, so today you are going to learn chapter 2nd acids, bases and salts. It is from class 10th. Before starting the lesson, you have to recall some memories which you have learnt in your previous classes. In your previous class, you learnt about the food tests which are sour and bitter. And you know the substances which are sour in taste and which are bitter in taste. And in your previous class that you have learned the substances which are sour in taste, that is called as acid, and the substances which are bitter in taste, those are called as bases. So this basic information you have taken. Again with this basic information you learned that when acid and bases react with each other, so there is a formation of salt and water which is called as neutralization reaction. So this information also you have learned. But now we will read our first paragraph from our book, and there is one situation given which is very familiar to all of you, and most of the times this situation occur in our family with someone else, maybe our family member. So what is that? Here you can read the first paragraph. You have learnt in your previous classes that the sour and bitter tastes of food due to acids and bases respectively present in them. If some in the family is suffering from a problem of acidity after overeating, which of the following would you suggest as a remedy? Lemon juice, vinegar or baking soda? Which property did you think of while choosing the remedy? Surely you must have used your knowledge about the ability of acid bases to nullify each other's effect. Recall how we tested sour and bitter substances without testing them. Now here one situation is given that in our family, if someone starts overeating, otherwise if someone get the favorite food, then the person eat more and more, that is called as overeating, and the person starts suffering from the acidity, and then the person runs behind the remedy that the person should get the relief from that acidity. So what type of remedy you will suggest to the person? As a science student, there are the three options are given: lemon juice, vinegar and baking soda solution. So what type of remedy you will offer to such a person who is suffering from the acidity? So definitely you will use your knowledge, your previous knowledge, and in the previous knowledge, if you recall your memory, then you can understand that in the previous class you learned acid can be nullified or neutralized by the base, and here lemon juice is acid and vinegar is also acid, so we cannot offer acid to the acidic person. But now baking soda, this one is the basic in the nature, so definitely you will offer baking soda solution to the person who is suffering from the acidity. So here after taking the baking soda solution, when the person will consume that baking soda solution, definitely the person will get the relief. Now this is a remedy which you will offer to the person to make the person relief from the acidity. Now in the second paragraph, what is given here? You already know that, here I can show to all of you. You already know that acids are sour in taste. Now this is the property of acid. You have to learn acids are sour in taste and change the color of blue litmus red. This is important note. So you have to write in the properties of acid. What are the properties of acid? Number one, acids are sour in taste, and in acid changes the color of blue litmus to red. And if you choose the red litmus, it will remain red in the acid, but blue litmus will turn into blue. Now the next point is about the base. Bases are bitter in taste. Here a small hint I would like to give you: bases spelling start from B and bitter spelling starts from B. So bases are bitter in taste and bases changes red litmus paper into blue. So here blue spelling also start from the B. So B. bases are bitter in taste, and bases changes the red litmus into blue color. So these are the properties of the bases. Now here the next point is given. Litmus is a natural indicator. Litmus is a natural indicator. Turmeric is another indicator. It is also natural. So you have learned in your previous class that there are some natural indicators and there are some synthetic indicators. So which are those? Here you can see now. Litmus is a natural indicator, turmeric is another indicator. Have you noticed that the stain of curry on white cloth becomes reddish brown when soap, which is basic in nature, is scrubbed on it? It turns yellow again when the cloth is washed with plenty of water. You can also use synthetic indicator such as methyl orange and phenolphthalein to test for acids and bases. Now this indicator is most important, and this indicator helps to all of us. Why? Because this indicator indicate whether the substance is acidic or basic in the nature. So there are many type of indicators, natural as well as artificial. So this turmeric and this litmus is a natural indicator, whereas methyl orange and phenolphthalein, they are synthetic indicators, but they are used to find out whether the substance is acidic or basic in the nature. So in detail we will learn further. In this chapter we will study the reaction of acids bases, how acids and bases cancel out each other effects, and many more interesting things that we use and see in our day-to-day life. So here in our lesson you are going to learn more about acids and bases, more reactions of acids and bases, and how these acid and bases cancel out each other's effect, and many more interesting things that we use and see in our day-to-day life. Now we will learn point next, that is 2.1, understanding the chemical properties of acids and bases. So now acids and bases in the laboratory, so we will learn the chemical properties of the acids and bases. Now here for doing this there is small activity, and for this activity we have to collect some samples from the laboratory, samples of acids and samples of bases, and we will see how they shows some changes with the indicators. Some indicators are natural indicators and some are artificial indicators, that is synthetic indicators. So I will show here that you have to read this activity, and by reading the activity you have to fill the observations in the table. So here is the table downside, table 2.1, samples of solution. You can see here the samples of solution. You have to write what are the samples which are given in the above paragraph. Samples of solution you have to write, and when you take the samples of the solution, how it shows the changes here with the red litmus paper, blue litmus paper, and phenolphthalein and methyl orange. So these two are synthetic indicators, and the litmus paper, this one is the natural indicator and this one is the synthetic indicator or artificial indicators. So this information you have to learn. So for that purpose you have to collect some sample solution of the acids and some sample solution of the base. So which acids you are going to collect here? You can see hydrochloric acid, sulfuric acid, nitric acid, acetic acid. These are the acids. These samples you have to collect. With the acids again some samples of bases you have to collect, which are those: sodium hydroxide NaOH, calcium hydroxide CaOH twice, potassium hydroxide KOH, magnesium hydroxide MgOH twice, and ammonium hydroxide NH4OH. So these are the samples. In the base OH group is mentioned, and this OH shows that is the base. Now when you take the samples, what is the next step? Put a drop of each of the above solution on watch glass one by one and test with drop of indicators shown in table 2.1. So you have to take a single drop of each solution on a watch glass, and then you have to add indicators in that, and then you have to observe the changes and you have to note down in the table. Now what change in color did you observe with red litmus, blue litmus, phenolphthalein, methyl orange solution for each of the solution taken, and tabulate your observation in table 2.1. Now here we will write the information about all those things. So we will complete the table now, but before writing this table in your notebook, I would like to give some instructions to all of you that when you write all the samples of acids, you have to note down. I will not write here each and every sample, so I will just write acid, so you know that which are the acid. Just I have shown you to all of you, but once again I will underline the acids. Now the first acid is hydrochloric acid, HCl, H2SO4, HNO3, CH3COOH. So these are the acids. You can write here one by one. And now what type of changes are shown with the red litmus solution? So here you can write no change. No change, because red litmus paper remains red in the acid, but blue litmus paper can show the change. So what type of change is shown here in the blue litmus with the blue litmus paper? So here you can write blue litmus paper turns red, and phenolphthalein indicator, here is also no change. There is also no change. And methyl orange solution, you can write here red. Now here no change, here is also red. No change with the acid. So acids. So this is the information you have to learn. And with the base, what type of change is shown? So here I will write the base word, but here you have to write all the samples which are given in the above table. All the samples, for example, magnesium hydroxide, potassium hydroxide, sodium hydroxide, all the samples are given one by one. You can write in front of that, you can write red litmus paper turns blue here, as I told. Blue for B for base, B for blue, B for bitter test. Here is no change, because blue litmus paper remain blue in the base, and phenolphthalein here it shows pink color. Here it shows pink color, but in acid phenolphthalein does not show any color. So whether the substance is acidic or neutral, we cannot identify with this phenolphthalein, but we can identify if the given substance, if the given solution is basic in nature or not. And methyl orange, here it shows yellow color. Here I can write, it shows yellow color. Now this is the observations. Here you can write here all the examples of bases and this observation. These indicators tell us whether the substance is acidic, basic by the change in color. So with the red litmus paper we can identify whether the substance is acidic or basic in nature. For example, if you dip a red litmus paper in the solution, if it turns blue, then the given solution is basic, and if it does not turn, then it is acidic in the nature. But in case of phenolphthalein, it does not show any color in the acid, but if the given solution is base, then definitely it shows the pink color. And methyl orange shows red color in the acid, and it shows yellow color in the base. Now next point is here given. There are some substances whose odor changes acidic or basic media. Now again there are substances. Now here you have seen these substances are changing the color. Litmus paper, phenolphthalein and methyl orange, and they are changing their color. But there are another substances whose odor means smell, gets changed in the acidic or basic media. and these type of substances are called as olfactory indicators. Those are called as olfactory indicators. Now what are the olfactory indicators? So olfactory indicators are nothing but the substances whose odor, smell changes when they come in the contact with the acid or base. So let us try out some of these indicators again. We will see some examples of olfactory indicators. So here is the next activity. Take some finely chopped onion in a plastic bag along with some strips of clean cloth. Tie up the bag tightly and leave overnight in the fridge. The cloth strip can now be used to test for acids and bases. Now here you have to take one onion, you have to chop it, cut into small pieces, and these onion pieces you have to keep in the plastic bag along with some strips of clean cloth, and overnight you have to keep in the refrigerator. Then in the next morning you can take it out, and then with that fine chopped onions you have kept some piece or strips of the clean cloth. So take 2 of these cloth strips and check the odor. So definitely you will have a onion odor to that strips, because when we cut the onion, then in whole our kitchen, in whole room, the onion smell or odor gets spread. So definitely that spread you will have to the strips also. Strips means the small pieces of the cloth. Keep them on a clean surface and put few drops of dilute hydrochloric acid solution and 1 strip and a few drops of dilute NaOH. NaOH, this is the base, sodium hydroxide solution on other. So what will happen if you take if you take 2 strips, on 1 strip you add few drops of acid and on another strips you can add few drops of base. So after some time when you wash it properly, you can see some changes in it. So what type of changes are those? So when you rinse both strips with water and check their odor, so note your observations. So what will be your observations? The strip where you have added few drops of acid, after rinsing also it gives the same odor, but the strip where you have added the few drops of base, after rinsing that strip you will not have any type of odor. So it shows that the basic solution, when you keep that onion strip in a basic solution, so that smell get destroyed when you put in the base. Now take some dilute vanilla essence and clove oil. Clove in Marathi we can say lavang. So that clove oil and vanilla essence both are having a strong odor, and if you check all those odor with the clean strip, then also you can get the same observation. Take some dilute acid solution in 1 test tube and dilute NaOH solution in another. Add few drops of dilute vanilla essence to both test tubes and shake well. Check the odor once again and record your observation. Record changes in odor if any. Similarly, the test change in the odor of clove oil with the dilute hydrochloric acid, dilute NaOH solution, and record your observation. So what changes you will observe here? What will be your observations? So the test tube in which the vanilla essence and acid is mixed, there you can still have a odor of the essence, but the test tube where the vanilla essence and base is added, there you don't have any odor of the vanilla essence. Same for the clove oil. The clove oil, when it is get mixed with the base, it does not have any type of odor, but the clove with the acid solution has the odor. Now which of these vanilla, onion and clove can be used as olfactory indicators on the basis of your observation? Let us do some more activities to understand the chemical properties of acids and bases. Now this is the next point. How do acid and bases react with the metal? Now we are learning the chemical properties of acid and bases. Now you have seen the acids and bases in the laboratory. This is the second point. Acids and bases, they react with the metal, but how they react with the metal? So here is the again one more activity. This activity needs the teacher assistance. Set up the apparatus as shown in the figure 2.1. Take about 5 ml of dilute sulfuric acid in a test tube and add few pieces of zinc granules to it. What do you observe on the surface of the zinc granules? Here this observation you have to mention what is your observation, and when I told the observations you have to mention in the book, otherwise you make one notebook, you can write there. Pass the gas being evolved through the soap solution. Why are bubbles formed in a soap solution? Take burning candle near the gas filled bubble. What do you observe? Repeat this activity with some more acid like hydrochloric acid, nitric acid and acetic acid, that is CH3COH. Are the observations in all cases the same or different? So this is also one observation you have to mention what happens with all these acids again. So I will explain this with the diagram. So this is the diagram. Here you can see reaction of zinc granules with dilute sulfuric acid and testing hydrogen gas by burning. Now what type of reaction it is? Here you can see the stand is there, and with the stand the test tube is attached. In the test tube you can see the dilute sulfuric acid and the zinc granules are mixed. So these zinc granules and the sulfuric acid, when zinc is nothing but it is a metal. Now here the point is that acid and bases react with the metal. So here acid example is taken. Acid is sulfuric acid and zinc granules means these are the metals and this one is the acid. Now when this acid and base react with each other, so something get formed or there is a change. It is a chemical reaction. So what type of change is there? You can see here it is the rubber cork which is tightly placed near the mouth of the test tube. So whatever the gas is formed here in the test tube is not cannot leak out. So here is the delivery tube, and from this tube the gas can come into the soap solution. Now what type of gas is get formed? You can see on the surface of this solution bubbles are get formed. That bubbles are nothing but that is the hydrogen gas. And when that hydrogen gas is get prepared, it will come from this. When the hydrogen gas will prepare here, bubbles will get formed and that gas will come from this delivery tube to soap solution. And when it will come in the soap solution, again over the surface of the soap solution the bubbles are there and the gas can come out in the environment. So here is the burning candle. This is the flame of the burning candle, and when the gas come in the contact with the burning candle, here the hydrogen gas is a flammable gas which can burn, and here the gas start burning with the pop sound. So here you can hear some small pop sound. So it shows that. So what is the conclusion? What is the next property of acid? So when acid react with metal, it produces hydrogen gas. So how can we come to know that hydrogen gas is produced or not? So when any gas is here released, if the gas is burning with the pop sound, that gas is nothing but it is a hydrogen gas. So this information you have to memorize, you have to note down. So simple conclusion from this activity is acid reacts with the metal, and when acid reacts with the so here in the reaction, when acid reacts with the metals, it forms salt as well as hydrogen gases get formed. So this is the conclusion of this activity, and next activity is here given here 2.4. So what is the 2.4? Before that, you can see here, when acid react with the metal, salt and hydrogen gases get formed. So this is the chemical property of acid. So again, the acid also react metal also react with the base, and it also form the salt and hydrogen gas. So same observations, same conclusion is there. So what is the activity 2.4? Place a few pieces of granulated zinc metals in a test tube. Add 2 ml of sodium hydroxide solution and warm the content of the test tube. Repeat the rest of the steps as in activity 2.3 and record your observations. So what will be the observation there? In the previous activity you have taken that sulfuric acid, it's sulfuric acid. So instead of that, here if you take sodium hydroxide solution, that is base. So when base and zinc metal react with each other, there is a formation of salt. Now you can see here, sodium hydroxide react with the zinc. So again the bubble formation takes place over the surface of the solution, and that bubble formation is nothing but the hydrogen gas is get formed when we collect in the solution, another soap solution. And again, if you take a burning candle in front of that container, so you can hear a pop sound. It shows that the hydrogen gas can be burned with the pop sound. So the chemical property of acid and bases is, acid and bases both react with the metal and they form salt as well as hydrogen gas. So this is the observation and this is the conclusion of this both activities. You find again that hydrogen is formed in the reaction. However, such reactions are not possible with all metal. So hydrogen is formed in this reaction, but however such reactions are not possible with all type of metals. It is given here. Next point is, how do metal carbonate and metal hydrogen carbonate react with acid? This is another chemical property of acids. So what is that? The metal carbonate and metal hydrogen carbonate, how they react with the acid. Here you can see now activity 2.5. Take 2 test tubes, label them A and B. Take about 0.5 gram of sodium carbonate. Sodium carbonate means Na2CO3 in test tube A, and about 0.5 gram of sodium hydrogen carbonate, so NaHCO3 in test tube B. So though both test tube you have to take, and then in first test tube sodium carbonate and in another test tube sodium hydrogen carbonate, the amount is given there 0.5 gram. Then in that test tube add 2 ml dilute hydrochloric acid in both the test tube, and then start the observations. What do you observe? Pass the gas produced in each case through the lime water calcium hydroxide solution as shown in figure 2.2 and record your observations. The reaction occurring in the above activities are written as test tube A, Na2CO3 sodium carbonate, and in the test tube if you add dilute hydrochloric acid, then there is a formation of salt, sodium chloride, salt solution, and water is get formed, and then carbon dioxide is get formed. In another test tube where sodium hydrogen carbonate is taken and hydrochloric acid is taken, so they again react with each other. Again NaCl, salt is get formed, water is get formed, and carbon dioxide gas is get formed. So you can see here, this is the metal carbonate and this one is the metal hydrogen carbonate, where you can notice that here hydrogen is mentioned here, hydrogen. So CO3 is nothing but it is a carbonate group. This CO3 is a carbonate group. So sodium carbonate this one is, and here the sodium, Na means sodium, and then this H means hydrogen, and this is CO3 means carbonate. So sodium hydrogen carbonate, this carbonate metal group is used. So when they are added with the acid, when they are mixed with the acid, salt is get formed, water molecules are get formed, and carbon dioxide gas is get formed. So how can we come to know there is the formation of carbon dioxide gas? So lime water is used in this activity, which can confirm there is a formation of hydrogen, there is a formation of carbon dioxide gas. So how can we confirm that? How can this lime water help us to find out the carbon dioxide gas is formed? So this lime water means calcium hydroxide, and when you pass CO2 gas from it, it shows white milky precipitation, that is milky color it shows. That is nothing but it shows that the carbon dioxide gases get formed. Now here I can show to all of you in the activity. Here you can notice in this test tube, sodium carbonate is used and dilute hydrochloric acid is added. So when the gas is get formed, that is carbon dioxide gas is get formed, it is collected in this another test tube, where in this test tube calcium hydroxide solution is used, that is nothing but lime water. And when the carbon dioxide gas is passed in this lime water or calcium hydroxide solution, this solution turns milky in color, and when it turns milky in color, it shows that the presence of carbon dioxide gas. So hydrogen gas burn with the pop sound, and presence of CO2 we can identify when it passes in a calcium hydroxide solution, it turns its color into milky, so it shows its presence. So these are some tricks which we have to understand and we have to note down. So here you have learned how do metal carbonate and metal hydrogen carbonate react with the acid. So next point is on passing excess carbon dioxide on the following reaction takes place. Calcium carbonate, you can see here calcium carbonate and water as well as carbon dioxide. So when these are the reactants, when these reactants get combined, there is a formation of calcium hydrogen carbonate, that is which is soluble in the water. So limestone chalk, marble are different forms of calcium carbonate. All metal carbonate and hydrogen carbonate react with acid. All metal carbonate and hydrogen carbonate react with acid to give corresponding salt, carbon dioxide and water. So when this is most important, when metal carbonate and hydrogen carbonate react with the acid, there is a formation of corresponding salt, carbon dioxide and the water. The corresponding salt means which metal is used, that metal salt is get formed. So thus the reaction can be summarized. So you have to underline this point, you have to note down metal carbonate or metal hydrogen carbonate when react with acid, it produces salt of that metal, then carbon dioxide and water. So this is the conclusion of the reaction.